Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
It will be. It's currently up to 265, but we're
Okay.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Okay, the motion will pass. I'll try and shut this off.
Does that mean it's not on the crest on?
Are we going to have the microphone?
Let's take a second recess.
All right, we're going to take a 10-minute recess, see if we can solve this problem.
My wife.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Skip's Marysville Music Cafe with lessons in person and personalized. Instruments including guitars and amps, horns, strings for instruments, and a myriad of music and sound equipment. Skip's Marysville Music Cafe.
Testing.
Gear.
Technical difficulty. Gotta get it straight. Gotta do it right. hear anything. Yeah.
Gary, can you hear me?
I can. There's still an echo though. And now I can't hear anyone again. So
Angela, can you go ahead and speak up, please? Angela, can you test the sound?
Testing.
Okay, we can go ahead and hear you now. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear us? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Angela, can you hear us? I can't hear you. Angela, if you can hear us, can you raise your hand, please? Perfect. Thank you. Can you try to speak?
When she tries.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Test. Testing.
At some point, I realized that broke my.
Because of Zoom, we can't continue without it.
Your people are here. Your people are here.
Testing.
Just to let you know, we can hear you loud and clear. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Angela, you
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Hey, we're back live.
Yeah.
How about a testing over there? Testing.
You can hear Supervisor Bradford. You can hear.
I can hear, and there's no echo.
There's no echo.
Oh, but we can't hear you.
You
Can't hear
Gary,
me?
you look like you're in a witness protection program. Why don't you flip a light on there and so we can see your smiling face?
You can't hear me?
No, we haven't been able to hear him yet.
Okay, so do the soft
You
reset
hear him?
The soft reboot.
on the,
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Angela, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Mary, but I'm doubting they can.
If they would hear us, because I guess we could chat and say, hey, we're going to restart doing that. I think that's perfectly simple. Let's say how you have.
Do you want to reboot Zoom?
Well, we might
She's
have-
gonna.
Well, we have to first.
We have to check first.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Angela, can you hear us?
And you're going to be shutting down Zoom and
Okay.
starting it so they.
does she have the Zoom meeting active out there on the
Yeah.
phone?
Yes, I told her to
Use the
activate.
chat function.
I checked with
There'll be a record of that, and also make an oral announcement.
We can.
Because apparently they can hear us
We're
now.
gonna do that and kick everybody
Let me
off,
do it.
start all over again if we need to. If that
Yeah.
helps figure, isolate the problem.
Ambulance chasers, you know?
You know, where we just start, don't allow anybody in.
Ambulance chasers.
So.
Kevin, do you want me to announce it via?
Zoom, and then you'll have to go back in and.
To everyone that's on via Zoom, I'm pretty sure you can hear me. Gary, can you go ahead and clarify that you can hear me? Yes. We are going to go ahead and close out Zoom entirely, and we're going to go ahead and restart. So if you can all please just come back, that would be great. We are going to close it off.
Record.
Gary, just to clarify, you can hear me, correct?
Yes, I can hear you, but I can't hear anything in the boardroom yet.
Okay.
We're seeing the boardroom.
Testing, testing,
We can hear you loud
testing.
and clear, but we do need the video. We're not able to see the board chambers, so the video has to be on. But we can hear you loud and clear without
Testing,
an echo.
testing.
Vinny, can you hear me? Vinny? There we go. Testing, 1, 2.
Testing, testing.
Bottom row, the board speakers are on mute. Nope, bottom row.
Testing, 1,
Board
2, 3.
speakers. Left.
Testing.
We can hear you guys great. Can you hear us?
Oh, good. There's no feedback. Okay. How about you, Mary? Are you able to hear us?
Testing, 1, 2, 3. We can hear you loud and clear. We can also see you.
And the lectern and the record. Actually, all of them have to be on mute.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
How about now, Mary?
We can go ahead and see you, and we
Okay,
can go
let's
ahead
do the
and
soft
hear
reboot.
you. Can you go ahead and hear us? We can see you and we can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear us? Testing. Testing.
Are you able to hear us, Mary?
Yes, I'm
No,
able
it's still
to
good.
hear
Even
you.
in writing?
I'm able to hear you.
See your name.
Oh, okay.
Testing. Mary, can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear. We can see you. Can you hear us? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 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 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Yes, I can hear you.
Getting Zoom volume out there.
Did you guys?
It is awesome.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear us? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing. Testing.
Did this change anything?
We hear you, Mary.
1, 2, 3. Can you hear us?
Yes, we hear you.
Perfect. So that means we should be good to go. Bill did something on his end, so we should be good. Okay. Looks like we're okay.
Testing, testing, testing.
I can hear you.
Perfect. Okay, we're good. Thank
Feedback loop is on?
No feedback on Zoom.
Angela's gonna double check to figure out why these went blank. She didn't want to touch anything and screw it back up.
Right.
It's not the end of the world if these stay blank.
So long as the public can participate.
Yes.
Via Zoom.
I just wanted to make sure.
Okay. All right, we don't need to see it.
No, 1 second for the.
Jeez, this damn timeout.
You usually do it when I'm. Mr. Biden. Yes. You and I. That's Mr. Biden. Okay, Fred. I'll be there. Yeah.
Oh, I see him firing up here.
Stick that there.
Give him a second here. Oh, yep. Now we're live.
Well, I hope we got enough battery for this thing.
Okay.
All right.
You want that close?
We're good to go.
Everybody's back.
My computer may die, so
Recording in progress.
we're live. It's soup. All right, we're going to restart at roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Here.
Supervisor Blazer,
Here.
Supervisor Fuhrer,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford,
Here.
Supervisor Fletcher is absent.
All right. Hey, Gary, you came out of witness protection. Okay, we need to pull item 433 and present it for the board for vote. We'll pull that item, is adopt a resolution reauthorizing legislative bodies of Yuba County the ability to meet remotely via teleconference through October 13th, 2022, or such time the board adopts a subsequent resolution. All right. We need any questions from the public on this item? All right, back to the board for a motion and vote yes this time.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say, well, we need a roll call vote, don't we? Because of, yeah, roll call vote.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer,
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhrer,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford,
I don't think I can vote on this item, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Supervisor Fletcher is absent. Motion passes.
Okay, now we need to pull what 448 back to county departments and take the consent with the changes made. Any questions from the public? Bring it back to the board for a motion.
Through the chair, this is Supervisor Bradford. I have one comment. I just wanted to disclose that I'm an uncompensated board member for the nonprofit EA Family Services, which will be providing services to the county under item 347, 2022. I have spoke with legal counsel. I do not have a conflict of interest there. but I just needed to make everyone aware. So with that, I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Vasquez?
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer?
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhrer?
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford?
Yes.
Supervisor Fletcher is absent. Motion passes.
Okay. Next item is special presentations. Receive an update on the 2024 blueprint, big picture, long range regional planning. Approximately 15 minutes. Who's going to handle that for us? Oh, Mr. Corliss.
Supervisor Vasquez, nice to see you all. Good morning.
Long time no see.
Yes. And there's no feedback. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that meeting is being recorded. Do we need to take that off?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
So I just wanted to give a quick update to the Board of Supervisors. Am I ready to go? And can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Well, good morning again. Really here, again, James Corliss, Executive Director of the Sacramento Area Council of Governments, or SACOG, joined by some of my fantastic team on the call this morning, Hannah Shuden, Sam Shelton, and Banu Abraham. I want to give you an update this morning on the upcoming long-range plan for the region, the Transportation and Growth Plan for the Greater Six-County Sacramento region, tell you a little bit about some of the projects, the initiatives that we also have underway to implement the last plan, and what I think will be of interest to the county and the Yuba-Sutter region. So I am going to try to share my screen here, if we can get this all squared away. Everybody see that okay?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So again, really a pleasure to be here this morning. I know many of you know, and I just want to acknowledge Supervisor Vasquez, your time on the board, and now Supervisor Bradford as your representative of Yuba County on the SACOG Board of Directors. We are, as you know, the Council of Governments for the Greater Six-County region. We're unique and special, I believe, in a number of ways, one of which is for this size of a region, one of the largest metropolitan regions in California and the nation, the top 30. Every single local government sits on our board. Every single local government has a voice on our board of directors, and we meet twice a month. And that is the geography that we cover. We are updating, as we often do every 4 years, our long-range plan. And this plan guides transportation, infrastructure, growth, air quality for the region. And it has a long name, Metropolitan Transportation Plan and Sustainable Community Strategy. We're shortening it this time around for this next plan update to Blueprint. So when you hear us talk about the Blueprint, it is also going to be the 20th anniversary of the region's voluntary bottom-up blueprint adopted in 2004. And it's going to be that 20th anniversary when this plan comes around to be adopted. So just a couple of things. Really, this is a preview of this long-range plan of what's coming up in the next, say, 18 months that we really look forward to engaging with all of you on as elected officials, as Yuba County residents. So a preview, again, of this really today. So as you know, and you probably know, and maybe you and your residents feel this every day, we are a fast-growing region. In fact, through the last few years, we have been one of the fastest growing regions in California. The coastal regions in California have actually begun to lose population, but inland California has begun to gain it. And in the last census, we are one of the fast growing largest regions in the state. That will continue in the next decade or more. So we're going to see a lot of growth, which means we have to be very thoughtful and strategic around phasing our infrastructure and our growth and our housing and our jobs and economic development. But as we look out to the outer years of this planning horizon in the 2030s and 2040s, as far away as that seems, we do believe that our growth rate will slow. It'll slow much like the coastal regions are slowing, and really largely due to demographic reasons. We have a triple bottom line framework that we're adopting for this plan and carrying forward to balance equity, economy, and environment. So equity meaning access to opportunity and jobs and school and healthcare for every person in the region, regardless of income, regardless of race, ethnicity, regardless of location in terms of urban-rural divide. We want to maximize economic prosperity and balance retaining the jobs we have, attracting new jobs for counties like yours, obviously making sure that our agricultural economy is thriving, but also that we're keeping the jobs we have, but we're attracting new industry clusters for tomorrow, and that we have a healthy, safe environment with clean water, clean air, and the like. So that's our triple bottom line framework. You know this plan, and maybe you know SACOG if you know SACOG really because of transportation. This plan that we're developing is going to be critical to allow us to compete for state and federal transportation grants. And as a reminder, we have a historic moment in the next 5 years, more state funding and federal funding for transportation than we've ever seen. But that isn't guaranteed funding. We have to compete for that funding. We have to make our case for that funding. We have to go to DC to get that funding. We have to go to the Capitol in Sacramento to get that funding. And so this plan helps us do that. It helps us make the case. This is a multimodal plan for transportation. In other words, it is roads and highways, but it is streets, it is safety, it is public transportation like Yuba-Sutter transit. It is fixing old bridges and streets, revitalizing our existing communities and our older places while facing new growth. We have a transportation funding round that your staff at the county has done very well in the last couple of cycles. Hamilton-Smartsville Road, shoulder widening, the intersection with Doolittle, and even another recent grant on electric vehicle charging as well in the county. And that another transportation funding round, just as a preview, the grants will be available this fall again for transportation purposes. But that's in the near term for this fall for projects that are ready to go, that are ready to go out, that need some money to go out to bid. Again, this plan, the long range plan, is really it's a financially constrained strategic plan for the region for how we invest our limited dollars in transportation purposes. We start really not actually with transportation, this plan, but we start with how the region grows and develops over time. And that pace of growth, as I mentioned earlier, the location of growth, the phasing of housing and jobs and infrastructure, and making sure that we provide that timing and that phasing, that we work very closely with your staff at a local level is critical. And we're going to be looking at 3 very different kinds of alternative scenarios for how the region grows in the future. And this may be a hard map to read, but just conceptually, the different pathways, as we're calling them, will look at a growth scenario that is more outwardly sort of expanding quicker, if you will, going out into more rural and greenfield areas. A second scenario that is a bit more balanced between revitalizing and reinvesting in existing urban and suburban communities with some phased greenfield growth. And a third scenario looking at really more reinvesting and revitalizing our existing suburbs and urban communities and smaller towns. And those, along with a paired transportation set of investments, should tell us some really interesting things about the kinds of outcomes we can expect over the next 10, 20, 30 years. So we don't have those results yet, but we're working very closely with your staff and many other of our partner agencies around the region to really look at what it means for those different kinds of growth scenarios. When we have those results, and we will have some really interesting, I think, data and metrics around things like traffic congestion and potholes and access to jobs and air quality and the like. We want to be doing a lot of engagement next year in 2023. So we'll be coming back and really asking for your help. Obviously, always happy to come back to the Board of Supervisors, but we don't want to just hold a public meeting in downtown Sacramento at 7 o'clock on a weeknight. We want to come out with your help and your community organizations there in Yuba County and really try to engage residents to understand what are people's challenges, right? What kinds of a plan can we put together to really meet people's challenges now and in the future? So we want to do that, again, with your help. We want to do it creatively. We want to meet people where they are. We want to get a sense from all of you about those kinds of events and how we can partner with you and your staff and to really engage the public. As I said, here's the timeline. We're working already pretty hard in 2022, but that is really a setup for next year, as I said. So a lot of outreach, a lot of involvement next year. These 3 pathways or scenarios, sessions just for elected officials and the public, but also sessions that are really going out into the community. And then the idea of adopting a plan in 2024. I want to talk about some of our work specifically now. So moving from that plan, we're working a lot on equity, as I said, and engagement and inclusion. We have an Engage, Empower, Implement program that we are standing up to work with a lot of lower income communities and communities of color around the region. Definitely want to be working with all of you there in Yuba County to make sure that we are doing the best job we can to understand communities that are sometimes they don't have the time and the resources to show up at some public meetings, but they have significant transportation challenges. I'm thinking safety challenges, safe routes to schools in some of your lower income communities. We have this program called Green Means Go, which, as I gave you a little bit of a heads up about those scenarios, we know that regardless of the future growth of the region, we need to do better and remove barriers and stumbling blocks to reinvesting in our existing communities. A lot of times our infrastructure is out of date. Water, sewer, and utility are old. They need to be upgraded in order to get new housing. It's hard to see in the map here, but I just want to tell you this Green Means Go program, I think, is a very creative approach to trying to get the state to step up and invest in infrastructure in our region so that we can grow, so that we can get economic revitalization in some of our older communities. And your county has adopted, and you all have adopted some of these green zones to really target specific investments. These are going to be helpful for us to get extra points as your staff applies to state level grants. We believe this is also going to be very helpful at the federal level too for federal grants. And we were able to win in the recent state budget in 2021, $38 million of direct funding that is actually out the door right now in this Green Means Go program that really hope that you'll be all participating and stepping up on. But we also, as we think about Yuba County, the Yuba-Sutter region, the 6-county SACOG region, it's really obvious to us that we are now also growing beyond those 6-county regional borders. I probably don't have to tell you this with Butte County, Nevada County, and how these even the 6-county region in some ways is getting a little bit out of date. So we are actively partnering with our transportation agency partners in the San Francisco Bay Area, the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, the San Joaquin County Council of Governments, and we've stepped up to collectively identify these projects here that unite and knit together our mega region, which is going to be helpful for us to go get state and federal funds. And I want to just put at least, I know you all know about the Highway 70 project north of Marysville, but there's a very also exciting opportunity, as some of you know about, with this map actually extending further north, and that is the San Joaquin Rail Commission and getting passenger rail to come up to Marysville, hopefully onwards to Chico, possibly with Supervisor Bradford's help, some potential stop in Plumas Lake. So there is more passenger rail funding than there has ever been at the state level and the federal level. We believe there's a huge market north and south that actually connects a lot of our existing rail services and our expanding rail services up to Sacramento, continuing them north with a connection to the international airport, potentially Plumas Lake, Marysville, and Chico. That is a growing market, and we want to take advantage of that market and those funds. Just to close out here, from the big kind of investments like highways and passenger rail to the smaller investments like trails. We've got some really awesome trails in our region. They're fantastic. I know you've got a lot in Yuba County, and I know we admire your efforts around Feather River Parkway. But what if we could knit together all of these pieces of trails and these projects into one cohesive system of trails around the 6-county region? What if families and kids could safely bike and really connect? So this is a vision that we released with, again, working with your staff and a lot of special districts, flood control districts, levee districts, and looking at actually what it would take to connect the entire region with a system of off-road paved trails, connect all 28 cities and counties and all the unincorporated communities. This is obviously a stylized version of this, but it's up on our website. It requires an investment and completion of nearly 1,000 miles of trail, which if we could do, you could then connect unencumbered from Yuba-Sutter down to the Delta and over to Yolo County. Imagine going from Lake Tahoe all the way down into the flatlands and the valley floor and everywhere in between. So we think there's tremendous potential, not just for health and recreation, but for economic development and tourism here. We partnered closely with the Greater Sacramento Economic Council and the Sacramento Metro Chamber, Valley Vision, with our economic prosperity strategy. I mentioned the economic E of our triple bottom line framework. That vision is squarely rested on 3 clusters: food and agriculture and ag tech. So sort of future and food and ag innovation, health and life sciences, and also advanced mobility, the future of transportation and mobility. That is a 6-county strategy. All counties, we should be investing and coordinating around that and gearing our infrastructure investments to support all of those things. And finally, last but not least, we are about to launch our 5th year of our Regional Youth Leadership Academy. These kids are having fun here, and we expect them to have another great year ahead from October through the spring. I know we've had some Yuba County high school students, so this is a planning academy for 9th to 12th graders. We take everybody in across the region, all 6 counties, and run them through an excellent, awesome program. Some is on Zoom, some is in person, and we really connect them to the career path of transportation, planning, housing, and the like. And we have great speakers come in from our state legislative delegation and members of Congress, and et cetera. So those applications, I think, will be open coming this Friday, starting on Friday. So would love to get as many high school students from your county as possible participating. So with that, I will stop my screen share. I hope that was helpful, and I'm happy to answer any questions. And again, want to recognize the rest of the staff that we have on the line here from SACOG. Thank you.
Any questions on the board? Okay. Maybe we might attend a meeting with SACOG down in Sacramento if you really want to get a feel for it.
Through the chair, this is Supervisor Bradford. So no questions, but I just want to thank James and his team for coming today and giving that presentation. So I really appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Cordos. Interesting as always. Always enjoyed the get together with different successful counties. It was an eye-opening experience. So. All right, we're going to go to county public communications at this point in time.
Any person may speak about any subject of concern, provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. If you are participating via Zoom and wish to comment, please use the raise hand function or *9 if participating on a phone. Please note no board action can be taken